Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at, well, a really elegant piece of engineering. It's the Thor broadcast FGETTRS fiber media converter. And our mission here is to get to the bottom of how this little box solves a huge networking problem. Getting high-speed, full duplex data to travel both ways over a single strand of fiber. I mean, that's a task that usually needs two. So the big question is, how does it bridge your standard electrical Ethernet and then push a full 2,000 megabits per second using just one tiny SCPC connector?
It's a fantastic question, and what's so interesting is that the core challenge isn't really the speed itself, it's the physics of talking and listening at the same time, full duplex, right?
Exactly.
Traditionally, you just need two separate paths, one to send, one to receive. But when you're dealing with existing infrastructure, old buildings or packed city conduits, running a whole new fiber it's either just impossible or wildly expensive.
So this is where the innovation comes in.
This is it. The converter uses something called wavelength division multiplexing, or WDM. It's an advanced way of basically letting you run that full duplex connection over a single fiber. It simplifies everything and doubles the capacity of the fiber you already have in the ground.
WDM. So
Yeah.
you're essentially splitting light into different colors or channels inside that one strand of glass.
That's a great way to put it.
Which brings us to the famous A and B units.
Yeah.
You can't just plug any two of these together. So what happens if someone makes that mistake? They connect two Model A units together on a link. Does it just fail?
Yeah, it won't work. And it's a critical point for anyone deploying these. Model A is specifically built to send information using the 1310 nanometer wavelength.
Correct.
And at the same time, it's listening or receiving on the 1550 nanometer wavelength. Model B, as you can probably guess, just does the complete opposite.
It flips the role.
It has to. They're designed as a matched pair. If you hook two A's together, they're both trying to talk on the same frequency and listen on the other. Nothing gets through.
That clarity is so important. And when they are paired correctly, the performance is, well, it's exactly what you'd expect. It hits all the standards, i.e. 82.3, and it auto-negotiates the speed.
Yeah.
But that 2,000 LBPs in full duplex, that's some serious bandwidth.
It really is. And then you look at the deployment specs. It's got the standard RJ45 for your electrical side and that one little SCPC simplex connector for the fiber. For multimode, you're looking at about 3,000 feet.
Which is pretty standard.
Right. But the single mode versions, that's where it shines. We're
Yeah.
talking 20 kilometers
Right.
standard with options that can push it to 40 or even 80 kilometers.
80 kilometers. Think about that. No repeaters needed in the middle. The cost savings there alone are huge.
Exactly.
Now, I saw some other features in the specs. It has an internal switch, which is handy, but it also uses the store and forward method. For anyone listening who isn't deep into networking, why that method? Why not something faster, like cut through?
That's a great question. Store and forward means the converter waits to receive the entire packet of data, the whole frame.
Okay, it buffers it.
It buffers it, and it checks it for errors before sending it on. Yes, it adds a tiny bit of latency, a minuscule delay, but for a critical link stretching dozens of kilometers, you want to guarantee data integrity. You prioritize quality over raw speed.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And the link alarm feature fits right in with that focus on reliability.
It does. It lets you know immediately if that long-distance link ever drops, which is pretty crucial when the other end is 80 kilometers away.
So at the end of the day, what's our big takeaway here?
Well, this deep dive really shows that this converter isn't just a simple adapter. It's a very sophisticated piece of tech that uses wavelength management to completely sidestep major physical and financial barriers. It solves a real-world problem for network installers.
It absolutely does. And for you listening at home, here's a final thought to chew on. We've talked a lot about the genius of managing wavelengths. But to get that 80-kilometer range, you have to think about the link budget. The specs mention a loss of, 27 decibels over that 80-kilometer span?
A huge challenge.
Right, so think about this. Managing those tiny fractional losses of light, of pure energy, over such a massive distance. Is that task maybe just as critical, just as ingenious as juggling the wavelengths themselves? The real unsung hero here might be the physics of just keeping that signal alive.